All right, XRP holders. So there's a lot to prepare for happening in the world of crypto right now, in the world of finance. We're going to get into the XRP price chart on the hour candles and also on the daily. We're also going to be talking about the DXY on this recovery rally for the dollar and the reason why crypto is declining right now in lights of the FOMC meeting for the Fed raising the effective federal funds rate. We're also talking about the crypto total market cap, excluding Bitcoin, on what could be happening over the next few months to be ready for. And we're also talking about WorldCoin just launching. This project's sitting at $2.13. What is WorldCoin? We're going to be discussing that. We're going to be showing the chart. And also, we're going to be sharing with you the mark of the beast. Does this have anything to do with it? Breaking down the pros and the cons of this project right here, how it works, and also this technology being expanded all over the globe, and what Vitalik Buterin has to say about this, the CEO of Ethereum. And then on top of that, we have to share what this whistleblower has to say about Microsoft's patent for the 060606, so 666. Is this a coincidence, or intentionally they're showing it in front of our face for the mark of the beast? It's going to be a pretty intense video. I hope you're ready for this. So comment 777 if you're feeling blessed. Comment 777 if God's got your back. And if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, you know what to do. Confirm it by smashing that subscribe button. So let's dive right into it. XRP sitting at 70 cents on the price chart. On the hourly candles, it tapped 68 cents less than 24 hours ago. And you can see this zone of support that XRP corrected down to back in the 14th of July after that massive rally, nearly upwards of $1. This is the last line of defense for support. If XRP does not hold, roughly 66 cents right here, we would more than likely come all the way back down to 55 to 57 cents to retest this area that has struggled to break out since September of 2022. And so what would cause XRP to do that? Because looking at XRP on the daily candles on the right, we were in drastic oversold territory on the RSI. I mean, we were upwards of 88, almost 90. So XRP was bound to correct once it got that high on the daily candles. And what's going to happen for XRP next will depend on the liquidity flowing into this market, because obviously a positive ruling in the lawsuit is not enough to move the entire markets. We need some macro market conditions. And that's where I'm going to talk about what's happening over in Europe at the end of this video, what's happening with BlackRock, with the SEC, all of that good stuff to be ready for. And so in lights of this Fed meeting coming up, and the Federal Reserve is going to be announcing their next rate hike, that in the short term causes market volatility, and it causes the dollar to rally. So we see the dollar rallying right now. That's what is causing liquidity to flow out of the cryptocurrency market. So there is this zone of resistance for the dollar. If the dollar breaks above this resistance and holds it as support, we could see a retest of the 200 moving average in red, and also this downward trending resistance line right here. I would not be surprised for that. But then over the next few months, what I would expect to happen for the dollar is the dollar to continue the downtrend, because the dollar has been bearish since October of 2022. Give you guys my prediction for what's going to happen the rest of this year for these markets, and specifically the dollar. The psychology of a market cycle is playing into the dollar right now. And this is, as you guys can see, the complacency stage for the dollar taking place, and then anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation. We're in capitulation for the dollar right now. And then anger and depression for the people that are holding the dollars once it gets back down to the 4-year moving average, and it potentially even breaks below there as the dollar works on recovering over the next few years, if it ever can, because of what the BRICS nations is doing, what the Federal Reserve is doing. The dollar is virtually doomed. So I don't know if the dollar will ever break the high of September of 2022. If it does, that's not good news for crypto. That's not good news for stocks, because they move inversely to this. So one would hope that something like this would take place for the dollar. But in the short term, right, when the dollar rallies, well, crypto sees money come out of the markets. And so what I traced up for you here is going all the way back into one of the first bull runs that took place for the altcoin market back in 2015 to 2017. So if I were to trace that up to where we are today, it would look something like this, where we could see over the next, a couple months leading up towards the end of this year, the altcoin market see a little bit of a sell-off back down to this support right here in red of around $430 billion market cap if we don't break to the upside. See, right now we're closer to the resistance. If I were to trace from August of 2022 to April of 2023, and we were to keep this trend line going, well, if the altcoin market cannot break to the upside of this and hold it as support, then we more than likely would trend down to this support and hopefully hold that support at around 430, ish billion dollars over here. And moving forward, this is what the chart looked like. Some similarities for the chart that you guys can see, as it draws down to the support, and then we start the bull run out of here as liquidity flows in the market with an approval of a Bitcoin spot ETF. So something like this could happen if the dollar continues to remain bullish for the next few Fed meetings, and we see the dollar, upwards of September of 2023 come up to the 200 moving average right here with all my chicken scratch handwriting. So it'd be about right here if the dollar trades up within this range right here, and then gets rejected from that, comes back down to trading to the downside, and then breaks this support as it comes back down to the 4-year moving average. I would expect something like this to happen for the dollar. And so that's what we need to be ready for. And then also looking right here at something like WorldCoin. I mean, this project just launched, guys, and does this have any ties to Ripple and XRP? Not that we know of right now, but it's its own project. It's created, and I'll share with you all the details about it in this video. But for XRP, what would happen for XRP in the short term as the dollar rallies? Well, we would see money flow out of XRP. We'd see it flow out of Bitcoin. We'd see it flow out of the altcoin market. And we would just see crypto just kind of bleed out slowly over the next couple months. That could happen. That could happen. So you have to be ready for that as we go back down to $1 trillion market cap. So it's going to take time. I broke down my video yesterday. If you didn't watch that, how long it took to break out of this range for Bitcoin to the US dollar. We're at about 103 days since we've tested this market structure at resistance right here. And if we go all the way back to where we were in 2015, this took over 200 days before Bitcoin could break out from this market structure line. Then once it broke out, we saw a back test followed by continuation of the bull run right there. So it could realistically take another 3 months before we break out of this range right here. So I would expect Bitcoin, as Bitcoin sees a sell off, if we were to see it come back down to the 200 moving average, I would not be shocked here. This red moving average line, Bitcoin comes back down to retest it again, and then just kind of consolidate sideways, around $27,000 to $30,000 for the next few months. That's what I'm expecting. I'm not expecting any explosive move relatively soon, but I am expecting an explosive move at some point within the next few months this year. By this year, I'm expecting Bitcoin to break $40,000. That's what I'm preparing for. And with WorldCoin launching, with this project right here, more than 3 years ago, WorldCoin was founded with the ambition of creating a new identity, they're saying, in financial network owned by everyone. The rollout began today, and if successful, they believe that WorldCoin could drastically increase economic opportunity, scale a reliable solution for distinguishing humans from AI. So, in the future, robots are going to be indistinguishable from humans, kind of like, what's happening today with cloning and all that stuff. And so who's human, who's not human? Who knows in this day and age? And then moving forward in the future, it's going to be even crazier. So AI online, preserving privacy, enabling global democratic processes, and eventually show a potential path to AI-funded UBI, Universal Basic Income. It's happening. So everything that's being predicted is happening right now, and they're showing it right in front of our face. So this is going to be one of the most important videos you watch because this project is changing everything, and it's kind of in a scary way. WorldCoin consists of privacy, preserving digital identity, a world ID where the law allows a digital currency received simply for being human. So this would enable, stimulus checks to just go right into your crypto wallet. And they're hoping that where the rules are less clear, such as in the US, steps will be taken so more people can benefit from both. You can now download the World app, the first protocol compatible wallet, and reserve your share. After visiting an orb, a biometric verification device, you will receive a World ID, digital ID. This lets you prove you are real and a unique person online while remaining completely private. As the global distribution of orbs is ramping up, you can find the closest one and book time to be verified with World app at worldcoin.org. WorldCoin is an attempt at global scale alignment. The journey will be challenging and the outcome is uncertain, but finding new ways. The journey will be challenging. The outcome is uncertain. Yeah, in the world of preserving privacy, hey, the outcome's going to be uncertain. We don't know if we'll be able to preserve your privacy, but trust us with your eye and scan your eye so we can clone your DNA. Who knows what they're going to do with that? But finding new ways to broadly share. So the marketing pitch that they have is gonna help things, make things better to prove you're human. So we're still years off from any robots actually being able to function like a normal human being and really confuse people. Like you see Sophia, she can have a conversation, but very clear she's not. You can distinguish the fact that she's not human. So WorldCoin launched. It launched at about like 20 cents, and it rallied massively. No, I'm not buying in this project. Don't buy this project, guys. Okay, look at this right here. It's up 1,015x. And so what most likely happens with these projects launches, they do something like this, and then it'll drop. It most likely will drop. You saw Sushi Swap. You saw this happen with so many projects. Sushi Swap was upwards of $15. It dropped 97%. And so I would expect this project to see a sell-off unless, billionaires come in and pump it even higher. But don't be caught chasing pumps on stuff like this. This is a very risky point to be entering into anything like this, let alone supporting a project like this because of what they're doing and what they're ushering in. Very, 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 very sketchy. So nonetheless, I would expect this project to see a massive sell-off. It's not going to be received well by the crypto community. And the launch of the blockchain-based digital passport platform has polarized the crypto community, with people raising questions about its centralization, obviously privacy, and security. It released the token WLD today, with major exchanges like Binance announcing its support. The project consists of World ID, a privacy-preserving digital identity, and WLD, which users received upon creating a wallet. And now, to join the ecosystem, what users have to do is provide a scan of their iris, their eyeball, right? You got to scan your eyeball through one of the WorldCoin's specialized orb hardware devices. If this is not an episode of Black Mirror, I don't know what is, man. This step provides proof of personhood, is what they're calling it. POP, proof of personhood. Are you a real boy or not? That is cryptographically secured and uses a World ID. Founders Alec Blan and Sam Altman, who's the creator of OpenAI, ChatGPT, wrote in a letter upon the project's launch. This lets you prove you're a real and unique person online while remaining completely private. How is that going to prove that you're private? They're all going to have your information. The global digital passport is set to be stored locally on users' mobile devices and used to prove their identity in a privacy-centric manner. World ID will use zero-knowledge proofs to protect the underlying data, including biometric, know your customer, and anti-money laundering data. WorldCoin will also enable users to reserve their respective IDs with a phone number in select countries with an iris scan required to complete the process and receive a World ID. Mark of the beast, you tell me. Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey had one word to describe WorldCoin's attempt at global scale alignment. He said it's cute. That's what he said. And over on Twitter, one thing that's interesting is look at Twitter's logo, guys. X. Twitter is now X. Very interesting. So Elon Musk, what he wanted to do with PayPal, is he planning on ushering something in with Twitter? It's very clear that he's working on something behind the scenes for payments with Twitter. But here's what Vitalik Buterin said. He says, WorldCoin was co-founded by Sam Altman, who obviously is known as the CEO of OpenAI, and the philosophy of the project is simple. AI is going to create a lot of abundance and wealth for humanity, but it will also kill very many people's jobs and make it almost impossible to tell who is even human and who's not a bot. And so we need to plug that hole by, number one, creating a really good proof of personhood system so that humans can prove that they're actually humans in the real world. It's kind of scary. And number two, giving everyone universal basic income. WorldCoin is unique in that it relies on highly sophisticated biometrics scanning each other's eyes using a piece of specialized hardware called the orb. All right, the goal is to produce a large number of these orbs and widely distribute them around the world, put them in public places to make it easy for anyone to get an ID. And so you're going to start seeing these things everywhere. How does WorldCoin work? Each WorldCoin user installs the app on their phone, which generates a private and public key, much like an Ethereum wallet that you have to send and receive. They then go in person to visit an orb. The user stares into the orb's camera. Their soul gets sucked out. And at the same time, shows the orb a QR code generated by the WorldCoin app, which contains the public key. The orb scans the user's eyes, and users' complicated hardware scanning and machine learning classified to verify that the user is a human. The user's iris does not match the iris of any other user that has previously used the system, and that they are a non-player character running around the matrix. If both scans pass, the orb signs a message approving a specialized hash of the user's iris scan. The hash gets uploaded to the database, currently a centralized server, intended to be replaced with a decentralized on-chain system once they are sure the hashing mechanisms work. What does that even mean? Once they're sure, so it's centralized, once they're sure it works, then they decentralize it. Once they have everyone's souls, then they decentralize it. The system does not store full iris scans. It only stores hashes, and these hashes are used to check for uniqueness. From that point forward, the user has a world ID. A world ID holder is able to prove that they are unique, they're a human, and prove that they hold the private key corresponding to a public key in the database without revealing which key they hold. Hence, even if someone rescans your iris, they will not be able to see any actions that you have taken. And so, in many proof of personhood projects, not just WorldCoin, but also Proof of Humanity, Circles, and others, the flagship application in a built-in in-person token, sometimes called a UBI token, each user registered in the system receives some fixed quantity of tokens each day or hour or week, but there are plenty of other applications, right? So airdrops for token distributions, so you think of stimulus, right? How long did it take you to get your stimulus checks? And you had to wait for that. This will allow them to instantly airdrop the tokens for stimulus, and then you would have a time frame, most likely, that you could spend them in. Otherwise, they expire to try and stimulate the economy. So token or NFT sales that give more favorable terms to less wealthy users, voting in DAOs, a way to seed graph-based reputation systems, basically like what's happening in China, social credit scores as well too, on where you spend your money, where you hang out, what you do, quadratic voting, funding and attention payments, protection against bots, attacks on social media. So if you have a bad social media score, then they could limit the things that you purchase to, an alternative to CAPTCHAs for presenting DOS attacks. So congratulations, capitalism is dead. Well, and we are officially in communism or Marxism or whatever you want to call it. What are the major issues of WorldCoin's construction? Well, privacy is number one, obviously. The registry of an iris scan may reveal information at the very least. If someone else scans your iris, they can check it against the database to determine whether or not you have a world ID. Potentially, iris scans might reveal more information, accessibility. They're not going to be reliably accessible unless there are so many orbs that anyone in the world can easily get to one. So this is still in the early stage right now, but we're going to witness this by 2030. And this is what they've been planning all along, guys. This is the new world order. Centralization. The orb is a hardware wallet, and we have no way to verify that it was constructed correctly and does not have backdoors. Hence, even if the software layer is perfect and fully decentralized over time, the WorldCoin Foundation still has the ability to insert a backdoor into the system, letting it create arbitrary, many fake human identities. So security. Users' phones could be hacked. Users could be coerced into scanning their irises while showing a public key that belongs to someone else. And there's a possibility of a 3D printing fake people that can pass the iris scan to get the world IDs. Yeah, how can you just, like in the movies where they, kung fu hustle someone's eyeball out and then they use that or something to scan their way into the elite's elephant circle meetings. I don't know, man. Is this the mark of the beast? Well, the beast also forced everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or his forehead so that no one could buy or sell unless he has that mark. This is in the Bible, Revelations. And so the connotation is that anyone who receives the mark of the beast is identified as part of the beast's kingdom and thereby is allowed to engage in the commerce of his nation. Those who refuse loyalty to the beast and the dragon whom he serves are prohibited from participating in the beast's national economy. Now, here's another thing that's very interesting. Microsoft filed a patent. Many of you guys saw this. We talked about this a while ago for crypto mining using body heat and body activity data. That's absolutely insane being able to do that. And Kevin Shipp, he's a former CIA counterterrorism expert, counterintelligence investigator, a whistleblower, and an author of From the Company of Shadows, CIA Operations Abuse of Secrecy. He's posting all about this type of stuff on his Twitter account. If you guys go check him out, saying that you probably understand this, right? Is this a coincidence or an international selection of such a symbol? It's 060606, which is the apocalypse of John. It's called the number of the beast, the 666. And so right here on patentscope.wipo, it says WO2020060060606, cryptocurrency system using body activity data. And so, is this the mark of the beast? I mean, you tell me, with Bill Gates and Microsoft and all this stuff happening, guys. Pretty trippy. Either way, 8 billion people will go on-chain over the next decade. This is what Coinbase protocol leads saying. Crypto adoption will kick into high gear over the next decade. Lead Jesse Pollack, who predicts that the vast majority of people on Earth will come on-chain during that span. With advancements like this, their feeling is that there's so much growth ahead of us We have less than 10 million people on chain today. There's going to be 8 billion people on chain over the next decade, they're saying. And so 8 billion users on chain could also represent a dominant slice of humanity, effectively Earth's population today. According to estimates from the United Nations, Earth's population could reach 8.5 billion by 2030. So if they're predicting 8 billion people on it, there's 8.5 billion by 2030. That's virtually everyone in all the first world countries. The only 0.5 billion that wouldn't be might be like the third world countries that just don't have any internet. So anyone that's in a civilized environment, you know, they're going to be on chain. And so when it comes to gamers, ordinals, NFTs, influential figures from throughout the digital asset space have long highlighted adoption of as essential to crypto success. Coinbase has already signaled that one of its goals is to eventually bring 1 billion people into the crypto fold. A research paper published by Deutsche Bank in 2020 said there could be 200 million crypto wallets by 2030 on the conservative end, mirroring the internet's early growth. One of Wall Street's biggest banks believes mass crypto adoption is fast approaching too. Citi said in March, a wave of crypto adoption will be driven by the tokenization of real-world assets and the rise of central banking digital currencies. And so CBDCs, you know, could this be through the technology of the orb? Could they be doing that through, you know, in-person chips and all that stuff on your right hand, on your forehead? I don't know what they put on people's foreheads. Could that be what Elon Musk is working on with Neuralink? You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Either way, what's about to happen for the crypto space over the next few months is going to be, in the next few years and decade plus, is going to be insane. The SEC just accepted BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF application when they've been rejecting them in the past. And so, you know, their spot Bitcoin ETF, once published in the Federal Register, the SEC will open a 21-day window for submission of public comments on the proposal, and they will be posted on its website. So we'll be covering that on our channel. And the application's addition to the SEC's docket on Thursday marks the beginning of a long review process that will be closely followed by our channel and the entire crypto community and the industry. BlackRock is the world's largest asset managing firm, and the SEC process for its Bitcoin ETF sends a signal about the future of crypto-based investment products in the United States. And they filed this application mid-June. So the fact that the SEC is already getting ready to approve it is going to be big, guys. And so one of the targeted companies leading U.S. crypto exchange, Coinbase, was chosen by BlackRock to serve as the custodian for its iShares Bitcoin Trust, the asset of which consists primarily of Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin's filing incorporated a surveillance sharing agreement with Coinbase to basically give the data of anyone who invests in it. And a report by the Financial Times on Thursday unveiled that Europe expects its first Bitcoin ETF by the end of this month, within the next 6 days. So we'll see if that happens. The product, which is on track to be publicized, listed by Jacoby Asset Management after a year-long delay, has been authorized in the Channel Island jurisdiction of Guernsey to avoid regulatory hurdles in the EU. So do you guys think the SEC will approve BlackRock's application for Bitcoin ETF? Is it already, you know, part of their plan? They're just delaying this and they're waiting, you know, for more elite to get on the boat to accumulate as much XRP, to accumulate as much crypto as possible. So share your expectations in the comment section below. Either way, I'm bullish on XRP. I do feel XRP is going to most likely trend down over the next few months to 56 cents. And then we're going to see a bounce out of here once the dollar sees a sell-off over the next few months towards the end of this year. Either way, you know, when the Fed starts rapidly decreasing rates by 2024 and they start shifting on their effective federal funds rate, that's going to cause the dollar to decline even more. And so they're just trying to create a soft landing here for the dollar. No matter what, the dollar will go away. It's inevitable. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's best friend, Berkshire Hathaway, said the safest assumption is that the dollar is going to zero.